still strong. Ooh, baby, said here I am, signed, sealed, delivered, I'm yours. Hi.
Hey, Bob. So you're a studio player. You've done a lot of hits and you've done a lot of recording. And I know you're also a very experienced live player. And a lot of PJB, players using PJB amps are saying, it's a great studio amp, very quiet, clean, and gives them the tone in the studio. But there's also another myth because we got small drivers here, and a lot of people think that maybe it's just not got enough oomph, enough punch and power to deliver like some of the other big amps out there. What's your opinion of that?
Well, they're in for a big surprise because this thing kicks butt, believe me. Two things I can tell you. As a member of the Funk Brothers, we did a tour, 10-day tour, and we had, if you remember, you sent me an amp to use on the tour, and it came in a day before the tour started.
Oh yeah.
And our sound man and our tour manager were already at the place where we were going to play, and we were going to have rehearsals. And they got the amp the day before we got there, and I got 2 phone calls one from each of the guys. They said, the sound said, "What is this? What is this amp? What are these small speakers? Well, I mean, this is not no bass amp." And the tour manager was the same way. I said, "Well, just wait till I get there and you'll see." Well, I'll tell you what, when I got there, I told this story to Phil, so I'm going to tell it to you right now. When I got there, those guys could not believe it. I mean, because the unit I had at that time, this unit is a little bigger. This unit we used, I used on the
Orlando
live in Orlando
DVD
Funk
live in
DVD.
Orlando. Yeah.
But the original unit that Phil sent me, I think was 6 on the wedge
6 and 9,
and 9 on the bottom cabinet.
Same head.
Yes, same head.
Yeah.
But they couldn't believe it. I mean, they couldn't stop talking about it. What is that amp? What is that amp? And you know that when you satisfy the musicians in the band, like we have a pretty big band. We have like 13 pieces on the stage. So, and sometimes the horns would say, when I played through other amps, they would say, "Well, you sound like you're playing like that," the bass. And when they heard this amp, they came over to me. And they don't usually want to say, if they're going to say something, you got to believe what they're saying, believe me. And they came over and said, "I can't believe how we can hear every note clear as a bell." And the other thing that happened on that tour was, after about 3 or 4 shows, there was a website named after the film, Standing in the Shadows of Motown. And there was about 24 bass players that had came in to see the show, or the first 2 or 3 shows. And they were all asking, "What is that amp? What is this amp?" And I don't know if you remember this, my daughter was at one of those shows.
Yeah.
And after the show, she said to me, she said, I never heard your bass sound so good, Dad." I said, "Well, you need to thank Phil Jones."
Well, she sent me an email.
She did, yeah, right.
It's amazing,
Yeah,
she said you sounded good.
Oh, great. The other experience I had with this big unit here is that at the Orlando show, we had an early sound check, and I have a married couple that are also like closet bass players, and they run my website.
I think I'm one of them.
You have one of them?
No, I'm one of them closet bass players.
Oh, Phil's it. But anyway, my website, they ran my website, and they're in the Miami area. So they drove up to Orlando, but they wanted to come up to see the sound check. So I told them the time of the sound check. And they told me after they got there that they got a little late. They were running late, but they estimated as they were driving into the park that anywhere from 3 to 8 miles, right? 3 to 8 miles, they heard that bass. They heard it. So, I mean, I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that if you're looking for something that's big, Phil's got it. He's got it.
So don't play this at home.
So don't play it at home, yeah. But hey, you can play it at home. You don't have to play loud. Sounds great.